I'm going to show you how I use these silicone cupcake liners. I used plaster of Paris and I began my project by taking a measuring cup and pouring out 2 cups. I then used 1 cup of water. I took a plastic bucket and using a wooden spoon, I mixed the plaster of Paris and water together until the consistency was very smooth and there were no lumps or bumps in the mixture at all. Then I took the plaster of Paris mixture and I poured it back into a measuring cup so that I could easily distribute it into my silicone cupcake liners. I also placed the liners on a baking sheet just so they had a nice hard surface to sit on and I could move them around if I needed to while they were drying. After I'd filled up all the cupcake liners to an even amount, I took them and I tapped them gently on the baking tray to remove any air bubbles while they were setting. Then I took 2 tea light candles and I placed them inside 2 of the cupcake liners while the plaster of Paris mixture was beginning to set up. So I just pushed them down gently in. You want to let the plaster of Paris set a little bit before you do this, just so that they don't sink to the bottom. Then I let them set completely for 24 hours. Once they were set, I removed the silicone cupcake liners, and then I took a bit of 100 grit sandpaper, and I did this just so that I could smooth out the tops to make sure they were perfectly flat. Once this was done, I took all my pieces and I stacked them up in the order you see here. So flipping one over on its top and then doing the opposite one and continuing this way until I stacked my tea light one on the top. I created a smaller version to sit next to this one, just made of 2. Then I took some E6000 and glued all the pieces together. The E6000 does take a little bit of time to set up on the plaster of Paris, so I did leave these completely to dry for about 12 hours. Once they had set and were fully finished, I decided they needed just a little bit of embellishment. Now you could leave these plain if you like a more natural look, but I wanted to add something just a little bit more stylish and elegant. So I took some gold leafing and some Mod Podge and I just did a little bit of gold leafing up the side of the candle holders. So I just placed it sporadically going up and then a little bit on the top. And these are my finished candle holders. I think they turned out so great. They look like something you would find at Pottery Barn. And the neat thing about this project is you can really customize it to suit your home, your decor style. You can paint them. You can do whatever you want with these. So I really hope that this idea has inspired you to get creative with a little bit of plaster of Paris and some silicone cupcake liners.
I'm going to start this project off with a 5.6-inch styrofoam ball. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to take heavyweight wire and put it right down through the middle of my styrofoam ball. And I'm going to take a button, and I'm using a colorful button so that you can see it. I'm going to do the wire up through the button. That way I have something to hang this from when this project is all finished. So I've taken the time to separate my little paper liners, and I'm just going to go to work. Put the eraser down in the middle of the paper, put a little bit of hot glue on there, and just stick it right next to the first one that we put on. And then we're gonna just move this around, and I'm gonna keep going all the way around the ball. I almost have this first ball completed. And one of the things I want to do before I finish down around here is I'm going to take some of the hot glue and I want to attach this wire and the button securely to this. But I want to do it with a little loop hanging out like this, because I'm going to use that to attach some decorations to the bottom of Now there is one advantage to doing these on the soft, the rough styrofoam balls, in that you can use the other end of the pencil to push it into the ball a little bit. But I do find that on the smooth ones that the glue sticks really quickly. So one's a trade-off for the other. Like I said, if I didn't want you to be able to see this well, I would not have used a colorful button. I would have used a white button on this. This one is going to stay white. When I first started to do these, I thought, oh, I can buy different colored cupcake papers to make different colored balls. But I have never found cupcake liners that are not white on the inside. So what you can do is you can make these out of white cupcake liners, and then when you're finished, you can spray paint them whatever color you want to paint them. So I have made 3 of these. This one is white. I have made one that I'm going to spray red and one that I'm going to spray blue. So now comes the fun part, and we get to be creative. And I've talked to you about putting something down here. For $4.99 at Hobby Lobby, I got this patriotic garland, and it was 40% off already. So yay! And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to untwist these little twist ties. So this is really easy. Since these came with these, I can just feed them right through that little loop that I have there. And then I'm just going to do the twist tie. And see, this is, again, you could put these red, white, and blue ones on here, and you could switch this up for a different party and put pink ones on the bottom of this white ball. How fun would these be hanging over your picnic table for the 4th of July or Memorial Day weekend get together? And if you're watching us from another country, like in your Canada, you might want to just do these red and white for Canada Day. Okay, there we go with our red, white, and blue tassel on the bottom. Now I have this, and I'm going to hang this by this wire up here. I will put some floral tape around this so that I have a loop to hang this from. But I also found these really cute stars. So before I do straighten that, this is just tinsel on top of a wire frame. So I can put this right through and have a star on top of it. So here is the blue one that I have spray painted blue. Like I said, you're gonna find out even if you use blue or red cupcake liners, the inside of them is going to be white. So I could keep spraying blue on here to make it a little darker, but I don't mind a little bit of the white showing through. So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did to the other one. I have a red, a blue, and a white mylar tassels. And I'm gonna turn this over and try and find, there it is, my little center in here. My little loop that I left myself. And as I said, you could do these, you could do ribbons, you could do anything that your heart desires. So those are on the bottom. See how fun that is? And I have to straighten this out for a minute. And again, find where it's gonna go through my frame on this. There we go. And it gets a little white star on the top, and then I fold this over so that I can hang it. And there you have the blue one. Here, let me put it down this way. And here are my decorative cupcake liner balls, all trimmed out for all my patriotic holidays this summer. I'm not sure that I'm going to keep them hanging here, but you can find some place to hang these in your home to make it festive for the 4th of July, Memorial Day. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this project and it inspires you to pick up some cupcake liners and get gluing.